Hey guys, Hamsterwheel here, and today I want to talk about a little racial called Blood Fury and how huge it's going to be in the Burning Crusade. Now I got to experience the change of this firsthand, as believe it or not, I actually had an orc shaman named Enchalt in TBC, and when I started leveling, I noticed that Blood Fury was reworked to not only give melee damage, but also spell damage. Now I love spell power trinkets and the idea that for a short period of time you deal damage like you're on steroids. But unfortunately that was really only a thing at level 60 and up, since there's no level 25 trinkets out there that give you X amount of spell damage for 15 seconds. Until I realized the reworked version of Blood Fury that would give you a good amount of spell damage at any level, and this would get better and better with every level you gain. So I had a ton of fun leveling from 1 to 70, and I actually saved up some of that footage on an old external hard drive. And thank God I did, because it allows me to show you guys some old school Burning Crusade leveling and PvP footage. And because this ratio was reworked to a mini spell power trinket, I actually messed around quite a bit in the level 40 to 49 BG bracket with my shaman. And yes, I even made a PvP movie way back in 2007. Displaying the strength of orc elemental shamans and being able to do massive burst damage with Blood Fury. So I know that the rework of this racial is a pretty commonly known thing, so I'm not going to talk about that part a whole lot. Today I just want to show you guys at multiple stages and classes the difference Blood Fury can make in terms of damage and how much you can crit for, just to back up Blood Fury with some actual damage numbers. And since I'm a big fan of numbers, I was excited to give this a go. Oh, by the way, for now, I'll leave things like warriors, rogues, and enhancement shamans out of this, since the old Blood Fury already gave them extra attack power, so the difference there is not going to be huge. It's just going to be a caster and a hunter that I will focus on, as they will see the biggest change with this talent. Basically, what I'll do is show multiple examples of what they can do without Blood Fury in terms of damage, and then show you guys what they can do with the new Blood Fury racial, and show you guys just how much of a difference that one racial can make. So let's talk about a caster first, the Elemental Shaman. At level 20, our Shaman gains an extra 43 spell damage, which is a huge boost considering that even with some pretty decent gear, our Shaman normally has about 20-ish spell damage. Time to find out what a spell like Lightning Bolt does with and without Blood Fury. Oh, by the way, as you can see, I'm rolling with some extra buffs, but don't worry, they only give me extra crit chance, not spell damage, just so recording crits was a little easier for me. So, without Blood Fury, my shaman can crit with Lightning Bolt for about 166 damage. However, with Blood Fury activated, I can now crit for an average of 214 damage, which is a pretty big chunk of extra damage at only level 20. 10 levels later, at level 30, our shaman now gets 63 extra spell damage from Blood Fury. And on its own, it has 46 spell damage, which means Blood Fury more than doubles our total spell damage. So without the ratio, our shaman crits with Lightning Bolt for about 349 damage. Not too shabby, though with Blood Fury activated, our shaman can now crit for a massive 445 damage with Lightning Bolt. Then later at level 40, our shaman gets an extra 83 spell damage from Blood Fury, while on its own it has 97 spell damage, which in this case almost doubles our spell damage for the time that Blood Fury is active. And now that we're level 40, we have Elemental Mastery and Chain Lightning, so let's see those numbers. So without the ratio, our shaman crits with Chain Lightning for a pretty nice 696 damage. But with Blood Fury activated, our Chain Lightning now does over 800 damage, so again, a pretty sweet boost in damage. This particular test right here, by the way, gave me some nostalgia vibes, as I used the PvP with my level 40 Elemental Shaman right here in Stranglethorn. And yes, what you're seeing right now is actual PvP footage of that Elemental Shaman way back in 2007. Then we get to level 60. Now level 60 is going to be a little bit more important, because if Blizzard does decide to add the Burning Crusade pre-patch, that means you'll be able to use the new version of Blood Fury on your current level 60 Shaman, which is why in this case I decided to give this Shaman some epic elemental gear and see exactly what the difference is with this type of gear. At this level we now get a pretty nice 123 extra spell damage from Blood Fury, while we have on our own 339 extra nature damage from gear. So without the racial, but with a trinket popped, we score a chain lightning that does 1844 damage. However, with Blood Fury activated and with the trinket popped again, we now do over 2000 damage with chain lightning. And at level 70 the difference is also very noticeable. This level 70 shaman gets a bonus 143 spell damage from Blood Fury, which is still a great addition even with the pretty decent gear the shaman is wearing. And with a quick little damage test, I noticed that at max level, my lightning bolts crit for about 2700 to 2800 without Blood Fury, and with Blood Fury activated, I'm able to do over 3000 lightning bolt crits. So as you can see, the rework of this racial is huge for the elemental shaman, but let's check out one more class. One that doesn't get extra spell damage, but now is able to get extra range damage from Blood Fury. So yes, I'm talking about the Hunter. At level 20, our little Orc Hunter here gets an extra 82 ranged attack power from Blood Fury. Now at this level, with some decent gear, I have a total of 161 attack power. So that Blood Fury ratio gives half of my Hunter's total ranged attack power. That's pretty huge, and it shows in the damage too. Without Blood Fury, aimed shot crits for around 210 damage. And with Blood Fury, it now crits for around 234 damage. Not huge, but it's still a nice bump in damage. Then at level 40, Blood Fury now gives our Hunter an extra 162 attack power, bumping our total attack power from 428 to almost 600. And at this level we crit with aimed shot for around 664 damage without Blood Fury. With the racial popped, however, I can crit for around 772 damage, which is a pretty nice boost if you ask me. Alright, time for level 60. So at this level I get 242 extra range attack power from Blood Fury, boosting my attack power from 1296 to 1538 attack power. And without the ratio, I crit for around 1632 damage. But with Blood Fury activated, I managed to do aimed shots at around the 1900 damage range, which is pretty huge. Of course, with these single hits, it also depends how lucky you are in terms of the weapon damage, as ranged weapons have a minimum and maximum damage, like this crossbow from Kamagas with a minimum of 149 damage and a maximum of 225 damage. But I think it's safe to say that Blood Fury definitely increases the damage of your abilities quite a bit. At level 70 with a quick DPS test, I got the same result as with my Elemental Shaman, being able to do significantly higher crits and offering me a nice boost in my DPS. So yeah, make no mistake guys, the new reworked Blood Fury ratio in TBC is not to be taken lightly, and it will make a big impact on what race to roll in order to do top DPS in your guild. I mean, after all, I experienced the perks of Blood Fury 14 years ago and realized just how powerful it is. And by the way, if anyone's really curious about the PvP video I made in the 40 to 49 BG bracket, I may upload this to my YouTube channel if there's enough people wanting it. Just keep in mind it was the mid 2000s, so there's cheesy metal, cliche effects, backpedaling and clicking for days, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And of course the power of this ratio was also pretty well known throughout the years of Burning Crusade private servers, which is also why I kinda regret rolling a Tauren Shaman on my old Burning Crusade private server, as I mostly did PvE, and that extra spell damage ratio would have meant I could have dished out even bigger DPS numbers. And I say kinda regret because at the end of the day, Tauren Shamans just look freaking amazing, so overall I don't regret my choice. Oh, and of course I have no doubt that when it comes to the parses, most hunters, elemental shamans and warlocks will probably be orcs, as this ratio is just almost too good to skip. Of course, this is something most of us already knew. I just hope that today, with my couple of tests, I was able to put in perspective just how much this ratio matters. Not just at level 70, but all the way from level 1 to max level. And that's gonna do it for now. As always, I want to thank you for watching this video. I'm Hamsterwheel and have a good one.